Hello and welcome back to the Movie Marathon Podcast, a place where we watch movies and then we talk about them. My name is Gabriel. I am your host for today, and I'm here with my partner in crime, Mr. Dixon. How are we doing today?
We are doing fantastic. How are we doing?
We're doing great, and I say so because today is our 30th episode on the Movie Marathon Pod. So we're going to do something a little different today just to celebrate our 30th anniversary here. Instead of talking about a film specifically, a ranking, a deep dive, we're going to keep it a little simple and still complicated, of course. We're going to ask the fundamental question, what is your favorite movie? Sounds so simple, right? So simple. Yet every time someone gets asked this question, either name 5, you don't know on the spot, it changes based on who you're with, who you're talking to, when you're talking to them. So we have a way to kind of get through this a little bit and maybe get at the root of what our favorite movie is. Maybe we'll come to a consensus, maybe we won't, but we're going to work through a couple different methods to try this. And the first section to kind of talk about our favorite movie is to kind of sort it into 3 buckets. And we'll use buckets, sorting groups throughout the episode. But the first way we're going to do it is to say, what is your favorite movie? And you can give 3 answers. You give your pretentious answer, the kind of answer you have at a dinner party, at a table, you want to impress people, or, you still want to be honest, of course, but just your pretentious answer. Your second one is your nostalgic answer. What was the movie you went to as a kid? Gives you the warm feelings inside, all that great nostalgia bait. What is that answer? And then the last one, your guilty pleasure. What's the one you throw on a couch on a Sunday when you're hungover, or maybe at any other time? You could just put it on at any moment. But the one that you kind of maybe guilty pleasure proudly, maybe guilty pleasure a little bit more hush hush. But so that's their first section. So we're going to run through that, and then we'll get to our next area of favorites. So, Mr. Dixon, let's hear your nostalgic answer.
My nostalgic answer is, I think it was probably the first movie that I saw in theaters, and it is The Lion King.
Wow.
The Lion King, I believe, was the first movie that I saw in theaters, saw with my parents. I remember, in my mind, it was a packed theater. I think I remember there being at least a lot of people there, but I distinctly remember the scene, and I think we talked about this before on the podcast, was the scene where they're in the elephant graveyard and Simba and Nala are like walking through, and Zazu, it's a jump scare where Zazu just flies in and they like jump out. And I remember being so scared, but everybody feeling that same jump scare reaction and just being like, oh my God, what is this? That was like the first real in theater experience that I can remember having and being like, this is cool. Like, this is so much fun. Even being scared, but also that just being an incredible movie to experience on the big screen for the first time. So yeah, that's my nostalgia pick, is a Disney classic.
As you're describing Lion King scenes to me, I watch this weekly, man, because this would be Theo's first answer. His nostalgia pick would probably be Lion King also. Amazing. But I love Lion King. We're millennials, of course we love Lion King. That's probably my favorite of the Disney Renaissance or whatever it's called, the Golden Age. I can't remember which one it exactly is, but of those classics, Lion King is the best.
Yeah.
My nostalgic answer, Harry Potter.
Ooh.
Number 1.
Oh, okay.
And specifically that one, because I watched Chamber a lot as well, and all of them. I love that series. But like anything else, it's like the books too. Like I read all the books, and I read 1 and 2 the most out of all of them just because I had the most rewatch on them. But number 1, Sorcerer's Stone, I watched when I was probably 11 years old. We were the same age as Harry when the movie came out, 1,000 times, all the time. There was a period where even my brother had that just started wrestling in high school or something like that. I was still in middle school, so my parents were going to a lot of matches. I would come home and just I was home alone. I would just throw on Harry Potter. And I remember just watching it every day. So love that movie. And now it's not my favorite. of the films, of the 7. It's probably one of my least favorites, but nostalgia pick, I would say that. I also slight cheat, and this will come up later, spoiler alert, Spider-Man, but I love Spider-Man 2. I love the whole Tobey trilogy. Love Spider-Man 3, as you know. We were just talking about this very recently with Anthony. But Spider-Man 2, also a big nostalgia pick. The Tobey trilogy in general just had like such a big imprint on my movie love and love for comic book movies and everything like that. So love both of those. But Harry Potter has the edge for nostalgia. I watched that movie so many times.
Harry Potters in general are interesting for me because when we get into guilty pleasure movie, most of my like guilty pleasure movies, or at least the ones that I was initially thinking of when we were talking about this, were very time period or not time period specific, but like time of year specific. So like for me, the Harry Potter movies are a very post Halloween, pre Christmas watch. Like usually like November is when I want to watch the Harry Potter movies.
Yeah,
I just feel like, and just because like the timing of like
ABC
them going
Family.
back to school and
they
and
got
like,
you.
The Halloween aspect of it, but then it also just kind of flows into Christmas. And so it just kind of feels like it fits into the like late fall time period for me. So I always tend to give those, those 3 weeks between Halloween and Thanksgiving are like Harry Potter time for me.
Love that. Okay. Those are our nostalgia picks. Now let's hear our pretentious picks. Mr. Dixon.
My pretentious pick, I don't know if it's a very pretentious pick, but the title itself sounds pretentious. It's Birdman or the Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance.
I quite literally rolled my eyes when I heard Birdman.
Right?
So.
Like just me saying that title, I'm like, oh God, this guy sounds like an asshole. But I remember this movie winning Best Picture at the Oscars. That was like, I think I might have heard about it before that, but I watched the Oscars and it won Best Picture. And I remember being like, okay, I absolutely have to go and watch this movie because I don't think I saw it beforehand. I'm pretty sure I saw it after. And I remember hearing about the whole concept behind it, of it being obviously it wasn't shot in one take, the whole movie, but it was made to look like it was one take and taking place over the course of one day. So going into it, I was like, oh, that'll be interesting to see how they actually execute on that. And I thought it was done so well. I loved how, if you like fast forward some of the scenes and like really look at the pacing and the way that some of the shots are done and some of the camera locations and how they capture everything in really, some of these takes are very long one takes. Like you're going for like multiple minutes. The fact that you're not only getting those shots and the shots are looking incredible, but the fact that the actors are giving unreal performances on top of that. Like the chances of you getting those moments are 1,000,000 to 1. And for them to do it over the course of a whole movie, I thought was absolutely incredible. I feel like one takes now have kind of gotten a little overdone.
100%. And I think this kicked off. I think it kicked off the one take.
Absolutely.
Whatever. I don't even know. I wouldn't call it even a renaissance. I don't know if there was ever a time, but it kicked off the fad of it.
Yeah, there were definitely one takes that went for periods of time. Like, they would go for a minute and a half, maybe at the longest.
Have you ever seen, and now like the real film heads that listen to our podcast are going to hate me, but there's a movie, I can't remember it right now, but there's a one take that's so incredible. It's like a funeral scene. It's the last shot of the movie. I can't remember it. Have you ever seen it? It's in black and white. It's an old movie.
No, I don't. Nothing.
I'll send it to you after this, dude. It's incredible. And it's a true one take. They actually did it, but it goes sweeping through, like follows a girl through like a crowd. A little bit like almost feels like Spectre, where you have like the Day of the Dead almost, and it follows that way. Feels like you go through a crowd, you go by like this coffin, you go through a building. I'll send it to you after this. It's so good. You'll love it.
And that's so true. I feel like a lot of older movies, they weren't doing one takes in the sense of like what we think about a one take now in like an action movie where there's, a whole bunch of stuff coming through and then like a soldier like walks by the screen, which is like the cut, but it doesn't look like a cut. It used to just be like, we're going to follow these two actors wherever they go. And if it just happens to take place through a crowd or over the course of like, a long walk, it didn't seem Like you didn't feel the cuts in those scenes or feel like they were lacking in any capacity. But now I feel one cuts are it's like a moment in a movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's like something that you're like, oh, when's the one take gonna come?
The other one I think of is True Detective, episode 5 or 6.
Oh, that was so good.
Where you follow McConaughey through the house, through that, it's the chase.
And that one, the best part about that one is like you don't realize it's happening at the beginning. Like the first couple of scenes kind of happen, you're like, okay, it's just a longer take. But then once the cops come and like it's the shooting and everything like starts to like really unfold, you're like, oh, this is a one take. Which is the best way to do it. When you don't realize it's happening in the beginning, and then suddenly you're like, wait a minute, we're still in this scene.
Yeah,
that's the best kind of one take for sure.
Totally agree.
I think that the director of this movie, Alejandro Inarritu, absolutely has nailed the one take and understands exactly how to make it work. He's done it in this movie and The Revenant, which is another favorite.
We saw that together, dude. We had like an emotional experience. I could hear the music, just like it just here in my head. I don't even want to like imitate it. I don't want to do it justice, but so good.
I also just, for me, that kind of also feels like a guilty pleasure movie a little bit, because anytime it snows, I want to watch that. Anytime the snow hits the ground, I'm like, I want to watch The Revenant right now.
I feel the same way. I have, this on my Letterboxd. I have like just cold movies, and it's it's Revenant, The Thing, even bad ones. That Liam Neeson movie, The Gray, where he's like stuck in the cold.
Just with the
anything.
Wolves.
Yes, yeah. It's just anything that has that vibe. I also have just space movies where it's like The Martian, Interstellar, Ad Astra, stuff like that, because you just get in those vibes. Those certain modes.
Absolutely. But yeah, my pretentious pick sounds like a pretentious pick with the long title of Birdman: The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance.
Best Picture nom too, or winner. So
Yeah, absolutely. And director, I think he won too.
Yeah.
What about you? What's yours?
2001: A Space Odyssey.
Nice.
And this is one of my favorite movies. This is going to be on my list in the next section. So I'll just come out and say it because I've been saying for years Space Odyssey was my favorite. But now it's obviously switched around and flip-flopped, gone different ways. But I first watched this on Netflix. I signed up for a Netflix account. I think we were seniors in college. And I was like, oh, this is like $6. Screw it. Like, I'm just going to do this myself. And it's funny because my entire family eventually jumped on that account. And I was like the home base for years. And I think my dad still uses that email. It still like comes off of that or something.
I was going to ask you if it was Netflix digital, like streaming
DVDs.
Netflix, or if it was, was DVDs Netflix?
I got a DVD, dude. I got a DVD. Once I got that thing, I was like ripping through DVDs. I think I got it like a spring break before we were done with college. So I was just home. I had nothing to do. And I got Space Odyssey was my first one. And I was like, this is the fucking coolest thing ever. I loved it. And then, saw the movie, or I love, I was talking about Netflix when I just said that, I was like, this is so cool getting the DVD in the mail. I was like, this is sweet. But I watched Space Odyssey in my room on my laptop, I think, when they still had like a DVD player in it. And I was just struck that the HAL scene and everything. It moved me. So I love Space Odyssey, and I still probably watch it close to once a year.
I watched it last year was the first time I think I watched it.
I think we talked about it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was very, very overdue. I had heard only good things about this movie, and it was a lot of people's, number ones on their favorite list. And I don't know why I never took the time. It was always something that I said, okay, I have to watch this at some point. I had a Friday that wasn't doing anything. I was like, you know what? This is the time. I put it on, and it got to the scene where you first hear the bah, 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 like that's that part. And at that moment, I was like, okay, I understand it. Everything else about the movie was great, but that scene in particular was like, I get it. I understand it. I'm upset that I waited this long to watch this movie, but I totally understand. It is absolutely incredible. It makes every movie that came after it make even more sense too.
Such a huge influence. Yeah.
Such a huge influence on every genre of movie after that point. So
I was so into it. I even read the book at the time because the movie was made with book companion piece meant to kind of go hand in hand, so you get more info from the book and kind of get two kind of different versions. So I was super into it, and it really spurred my love for Kubrick. I had seen other Kubrick movies before this, but this is really what solidified him. You could say multiple directors, but like one of my favorite directors. Kubrick's in my top 2 or top 3 for sure.
Yeah. I mean, his catalog is undeniably one of the best. So
that we'll come up again here. All right. What's your guilty pleasure?
Guilty pleasure, like I said before, there's a few and they're very time period specific. I wouldn't say the Harry Potters are guilty pleasures. I do enjoy them. But I think for the winter when it snows, I think The Revenant, again, is like in between. But for the summer, my guilty pleasure summer watch is the Transformers movies.
Ooh, nice. That's a good one.
I just watched the first one again, and I don't know if like at the time, because I was also in high school, it was kind of like, it felt like that could be me. Like I could be Shia LaBeouf and like hanging out with Megan Fox and saving the world with robots and stuff. But I find myself going back to that every summer being like, you know what? I really want to watch the Transformers again. But Michael Bay will get as much flack as Michael Bay is going to get for making those movies. But they're fun. They're just a lot of fun to go in, and you don't have to think about it that much. It's just kind of like, all right, robots are here to save us from the bad robots, and action, adventure, summer. It's just a really, really good time, and has that like nostalgic factor to it as well.
Yeah, that's a good one, because I feel the same way. I don't go back to them a lot, but I'm never going to be proudly going up to people and saying like, "Hey, I'm rewatching all the Transformers right now."
Exactly.
And I know you're not watching like all of them, like The Last Night with Anthony Hopkins or some of the other ones, but like really the first 2 really have, I feel like, for me, the most nostalgia. We saw Dark of the Moon together. That's our famous story where you fell asleep in the theater.
Yep.
But it's the first one, dare I say, is a pretty good movie. The second Revenge of the Fallen. Is that what it is? That one's pretty bad. With like that one's like gets into real Michael Bay-ness, but the first one's great. Camshafts. First one's great.
First one's awesome. You have a lot of great characters. I want to say it was like the first real. People knew who Shia LaBeouf was, but that was like his real like, kind of coming out movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You had Even Stevens, but now that made him like a star.
Yeah, and it was same for Megan Fox. Like I think that was her first big role too. So, you kind of had these like young actors that were really coming out, and again, because they were younger at the time, I think that we sort of just fell in love with them a little bit more. And it was just, it's just it was just a great time for that movie to come out too, because I think it took place around the summer too. So you had like the lens flares and like the scenes where they're in the sunset, just kind of hanging out. So yeah, I think they did. I absolutely a guilty pleasure. Probably on no one's top 20 greatest movies of all time, but still a lot of fun and a good movie to go back and rewatch in the summer.
Yeah, for sure. Guilty pleasure for me is tough, because even just like you did, you kind of went like one specific avenue. Superhero movies are going to come up a lot here, but I want to mention it because probably a true guilty pleasure of mine is just to throw on like a superhero movie. Sometimes even like the bad ones, like I'll watch like X-Men: The Last Stand, the Chris Evans Fantastic Four, stuff like that. That like Lauren will walk in the room and be like, what is this? Like, what do you have on now? I'm like Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer. So probably my guilty pleasure truly are just like any superhero movie. Even like sometimes I'll just come home and be like, or I'll have a night alone and be like, I'm going to watch Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness, and not even finish it, but just get through like the first like third of it and then just like stop. So,
or just watch a part that you kind of saw on TikTok or something, and you're like, you know what, I kind of want to watch that part again, see what happens after that.
Exactly. So that's probably my truest like overall guilty pleasure. I don't know if I have like one specific movie in there, but then also like you could talk about seasons, like during the Halloween month, like October, I will just like rip through like Freddy movies, Halloweens, Jason's, and some of them are god fucking awful. But I think that's part of a guilty pleasure too.
I will watch all of the classic Halloween movies, and same for around Christmas and the holidays. Like, we just watch all of those, your standard, like Elf, the claymation movies, all that stuff for like around Christmas. I guess it could kind of fit into the pretentious category is also Lighthouse around Halloween. It's become like a rewatch for me around Halloween every time this year, and it's black and white, takes place in I think it's like the late 1800s, early 1900s, something like that. So it's like a little bit of a period piece, but it's just I don't know why I just love that movie now. Like, it's just become such a standard. It's actually the first one that I watch every like Halloween rewatch season.
That's
I tend
funny.
to end up watching The Lighthouse first, but yeah, I agree with you on the superhero thing. I think that there are really good ones and there are really bad ones, and then there's a lot in between, and there's some that you just get that itch for, like you said, that you kind of want to go back and rewatch it. You haven't seen it in a while. And I mean, in the last 35 years, there's been a ton of them. So, we have a wide range of variety in what type of superhero movie that you want to watch too. So there's definitely a lot of options when you want to once again scratch that itch.
I do want to go back to what you were saying about Lighthouse because I do not like that movie. I feel like we've talked about this on the pod. I don't like Lighthouse. I saw it with Bags in theaters at a screening, actually with Robert Eggers.
Oh my God.
Crazy. And I came out of there and he was like, "Oh, I loved it." And I was like, Willem Dafoe farting. And it wasn't the movie for me. But it's funny that you kind of start your Halloween season with like an adjacent horror, because I do the same thing. I'll watch like a bunch of Hitchcocks before. I'll do like The Birds, Rear Window, just like kind of getting my feet wet a little bit. And then I'll go into everything else.
It's also kind of interesting because there's certain types of movies, like you make a horror movie or a slasher or some sort of like quote, like a scary movie. It almost feels like you're kind of like, it gets pigeonholed into people want to watch that movie around Halloween.
Yeah.
Versus like any sort of action movie can be watched at any point during the year. A holiday movie specifically obviously is going to get wrapped around a holiday movie, but like scary movies or horror movies or even thrillers to an extent, they kind of do get pigeonholed into the fall as far as like when people want to go and watch them.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because I feel like you should be able to watch them at any point during the year, unless they're like very specifically tied to a holiday. Like, you should open up the rest of the year, the rest of the calendar to be able to watch those movies.
Hey, man, you come to my house. You come to my house in July. We're watching Polar Express here. So,
Oh my God. No, I have to put my foot down. I'm sorry.
That was on today.
Me and my brother have a tradition where every Christmas Eve, basically like as we're going to bed, we will sit down and watch that movie together. So I only watch it on Christmas Eve, but it's like we have to watch the movie, we have to put it on, we have to make it through the scene, the one take actually in that movie where the ticket flies out of the rail car.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And then it just goes through the woods with all the animals and all stuff. We have to make it through that scene, and then we can fall asleep. And then we have to wake up at least 3 or 4 times throughout the night to like the DVD menu because we still watch it on the DVD. It's a whole thing. But
love it.
Yeah, Polar Express, I will put my foot down. That has to be watched on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day and no other time. But
I have no control over the TV. So.
But if you can watch like Christmas in July, you could do any of the other movies around that time. That's totally okay.
All right. You ready to move to the next section?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So we've gone through that little subsection, kind of dipping our toes here into what our favorite movies are. You're going to get a taste of that now. Or you got a taste of what our favorite movies are. So now we're really going to expand actually a little bit before we whittle it back. We're millennials, MySpace kids. I like the sound of a top 8. So we're going to do a top 8 of our favorite movies in no particular order. So Dixon, tell me your top 8 favorite movies.
Do you want me to go in order of 8 to 1?
If you have it. Oh man, if you have it. I do not have an order. If you have it.
I have a general order, and my 8 is the one that I'm iffy about.
You can. I have a couple of honorable mentions. I know that's cheating. I literally just said we're only doing 8, but there's just a couple that I will just I'll just want to mention that I love and came up when I was kind of whittling things down. But in this discussion, we're kind of just going to talk about all of these broadly. So however you want to do it. If you can do 8 to 1, I would love to hear it, or roughly, because I can't.
I can. I'm gonna save 8 just because I'm holding off on including it, and you'll understand why. But so for me, going from we'll go 7 to 1, and then
Sure.
we'll talk about 8. So 7 for me is Return of the King, Lord of the Rings.
Wow, I didn't see that coming. Great movie.
Oh my god. Do you want me to go through the list and then we'll talk about them?
Yeah, do your list. Or you know what? No. Let's hear about it.
All right. Return of the King. I grew to love this movie more so after it came out. Like, I appreciated it when it came out, and obviously it's the accolades that the movie's received. It won, I think, the most Academy Awards of any single movie in history. So it's obviously, it is a great movie. It is a highly awarded movie, but I didn't really understand the different sort of parallels to other stories. And obviously there's a lot of like Christian themes in the Lord of the Rings and a lot of like Tolkien's works, but that movie just grew on me so much, specifically in the last like 7 to 8 years. And I went from having seen it a few times to watch the extended version like regularly. Like, I would watch the extended version and do like a full Lord of the Rings trilogy rewatch.
I don't know if I've seen extended.
Oh my God, it's so good. I've seen behind the scenes, deleted scenes, like a ton of stuff about that movie, but it wrapped up a, dare I say, perfect trilogy.
Oh yeah.
With the Lord of the Rings movies, and did it in a way that was, again, changed, I think, movies ever since then. Like, I think movies and some scenes in movies try to be as close as they can to the Lord of the Rings, and some of the battles in that and some of the, the characters, they just, they did such a good job with it. And Peter Jackson did such a great job of creating a very unique world that still felt very lived in.
Oh yeah.
It's something that, I mean, I think we got with Game of Thrones a little bit too, at least initially, like from the beginning of the show. But yeah, nothing like that, but as close to it as possible. So yeah, the Return of the King, the Lord of the Rings, my number 7.
Nice.
Next on the list, we have superhero movie, Endgame.
Ooh, nice.
Endgame for me, I think it is the theatrical experience that I had, and I know a lot of people had with that movie. It was the feeling of experiencing that with a huge group of people that were also going through the same emotional connection to it was something that I don't know I'll ever experience again. I think it was just something that was just so incredibly beautiful, and that movie also gave you exactly what you wanted from that movie, and things you didn't even think you knew that you wanted, but you ended up getting anyway.
Yeah.
So for me, it was just everything that you could have wanted, and again, a perfect ending, quote unquote, to the Infinity Saga of Marvel at that point in, the Marvel movies. So I think it just did a great job of mostly wrapping up those storylines and just giving a great theatrical experience.
I fucking love Endgame. It's not on my list, but I thought about it. And yeah, that experience is just unreal. Being in the theater and seeing portals for the first time, not knowing what's going to happen. The Thanos head chopping scene in the beginning, it was all just incredible. And I still, to this day, say that Endgame should have been nominated for Best Picture that year, because I'm not saying it should have won, obviously, but as a feat of filmmaking, the sequel to 20 movies and bringing all those cast members together, I think that was a failure on the Academy.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that, they just did such a good job of tying. Again, there were some loose ends at some point, but
of course,
for the most part, they did such a great job of bringing together 20 movies. And it was something that had never been done before. to have that many storylines brought into one movie and for them to pay off as well as they did. Yeah,
it was the culmination. It was the culmination of it all, and you could get off the ride at that point. And a lot of people did, and stopped, obviously.
But there's much more to go.
Yes.
All right, next up on my list for number 5. My name is Forrest Gump.
Wow, nice.
Forrest Gump. This was also kind of a nostalgia pick for me. I used to watch this as a kid. I actually had it on, I think it was a Paramount movie, so they had it on the Nickelodeon yellow VHS.
Sick.
So I used to have it on the VHS. So I always knew where it was because I was like, where's the orange one? Okay. But yeah, it's a great movie. I definitely over time understood a little bit more about the movie than I did as a kid. Like some of the jokes and some of the references I didn't get when I was younger. Then as I grew up, I was like, oh my God, why was I watching this movie? But it's incredible. I think Tom Hanks does a great job. All the ensemble are phenomenal. The storylines are great. The way that they wove in actual historical footage and like put him in the White House with multiple presidents.
So good.
I think now maybe it's a little dated. Like some of the scenes you look and you see, JFK's face doesn't really look like JFK, but they did a good a job as they could at that time period. And for the most part, everything does look really good. So yeah, that's why Forrest Gump's on my list.
Love Forrest Gump. It's a movie I rewatch every couple of years. It's like a summer movie for me.
Yeah, definitely a summer movie for sure. Speaking of summer movies, and one that we have talked about a little bit recently on the pod, Jurassic Park is my number 4.
It's on my list.
You knew
too.
it was going to be on there.
It's on my list too.
Jurassic Park. I used to go down to my grandmother's house in Florida. Like every year we would go down and she had it on a VHS and she had one of those, remember those like gigantic, not flat screen, but the big screen TVs.
Oh,
just,
yeah.
like, sit on the floors. She had one of those in her living room and I used to sit there and just be like this, watching Jurassic Park. And it's just
so good. It's one of the best movies ever.
The fact that the CGI still holds up to this day and is better than some movies that are coming out currently in 2026 is just a testament to how much time and effort and love and care and understanding and craftsmanship that went into making this movie. And the fact that they took as much time as they did to make sure that the dinosaurs looked as good as they did and they still look good just goes to show you that this movie is a classic that is going to be around for years and years and years.
And they were trying to make sequels and still are to make it as good as the original, and they cannot touch it. It's a perfect film. I totally agree.
Yeah, it's incredible. And I mean, to an extent, I think a lot of the reason why we got sequels and the, I guess you want to call it like bringing back of dinosaurs with the World movies and even the end of Oak Street, people loved that movie so much and have such a connection to seeing dinosaurs on the big screen that they will go. Like for me, end of Oak Street, I was like, dinosaurs, I'm there.
Right. Yeah.
I don't care about anything else. There's going to be dinosaurs on the big screen. I'm going to go see it because of how much I love Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Same. It has that influence.
Yeah. So that's why Jurassic Park is on my list. Then for number 3, we're going to Boston. The Departed.
Ooh, so good. I love The Departed.
The Departed. I mean, this was a movie, also like another one on my list that I randomly watched. I don't think I knew that it had won Best Picture, and I happened to be watching it on like HBO in the middle of the day on like a Saturday or something like that. And it just caught me right from the moment I started watching it. I don't remember if I started from the beginning. It was definitely closer to the beginning of the movie, but just immediately hooked me. And I was blown away. Every like twist and new scene that came up, the acting was incredible. I mean, the fact that Leo didn't win Best Actor for this movie,
crazy,
just is disgusting. I don't understand that at all. I mean, I don't know who he lost to, but I'm sure it makes sense because
Daniel Day-Lewis. No, I don't know. I don't know the year, but
I mean, it just I remember looking through every year that he was nominated, and there was a reason why he didn't win every year. But The Departed is great. It was so, it felt like a different type of Scorsese movie than what he was doing in, his earlier times. But it was just incredibly well done. And just felt like I'd been to Boston once before I saw the movie, and you really did feel like you were there in those streets and in those alleyways and dealing with the people in the area. Yeah, it's amazing.
It's amazing.
I mean, the scene at the very end with the rat just crawling on the
so good,
on the porch,
so good.
And
everyone dies. So good.
Everyone dies. Oh my God, that scene! Yeah, it doesn't get much better than that.
I'll say one thing about The Departed, which I'm gushing over it too. But the first time I saw it was on a illegal leak on my computer on like Google Videos or something, because it came out I think 2005 or 2006. So someone in school at our high school sent it to me. I'm not going to rat out who it is, but I actually remember who it was. It was like, it was like, oh, you want to see The Departed, and send it to me. And I watched the entire movie on my computer, in my home office. So wow. it was. I love The Departed.
It's incredible. It's such a great movie. Yeah, that's why I have it up there, pretty high on my list. But my top two.
Yes.
Number 2 for me. This wouldn't be my list if I didn't have a Star Wars movie on my list.
I was waiting for it.
My number 2 is Revenge of the Sith.
I knew it. And I think I know what's going to be your number 1 too. I think I know what your number 1 is also.
Probably. But yeah, Revenge of the Sith. I can't say enough amazing things about this movie. I understand that people will give the prequels a lot of flack, but as somebody who loves and appreciates Star Wars, I think that this movie did such a good job of culminating everything that came before it into one perfect cinematic masterpiece. It was heartbreaking, the end of that movie, because you kind of come out of every Star Wars movie with a sense of hope and a sense of, there's something good can come of where we're at in the story at this point. And that movie, you did not. And it was because of everything that was going to come after that in A New Hope. But the performances, as many people want to say Hayden Christensen didn't have a great performance in the movie, I thought he was absolutely perfect for the role of Anakin.
Finally grew into it. Yeah.
And Darth Vader. It was just, it really culminated beautifully for him. Even Ewan McGregor, you were the chosen one. That whole scene at the end is absolutely incredible. And it just was a perfect way to cap off where Star Wars was at that point in that trilogy and the saga of the 6 movies that we had before. And one of my litmus tests for a favorite movie or favorite anything really, favorite song, TV show, whatever, is, do I ever not want to watch or listen or view that thing? All of these movies on this list, I've never been to a point where I'm kind of like, nah, I'm not really feeling that right now. I could watch these movies at any point, anywhere, anytime. Maybe I'll find something else that I'll actually want to watch. But for me, Revenge of the Sith, I don't care who I'm with, what I'm doing. Like you say, you want to watch Revenge of the Sith? I'm in 1,000%.
I've probably watched that with you 1,000 times.
Easily. Me and Anthony, we used to do around Christmas break in college, we used to do a binge of all the Star Wars
Lauren
movies.
Was there with you guys once. She said she watched it with you guys in Anthony's basement once. That was the first time she saw them. Now she won't watch them with me. But she watched Empire with me maybe when we were living in Hell's Kitchen in full. She sat down in the beginning and she sat through the whole thing. She's like, that was an amazing movie. I was like, yeah.
Because it is an amazing movie. Yeah. Yeah, so Revenge of the Sith was my number 2, which means, Gabriel, my number 1 is...
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction, baby.
I associate that film with you. Love Pulp Fiction, but yeah.
Another, kind of the same thing with The Departed. I happened to be... I was walking into the living room. My dad was watching it, and he had it on. And I sat down, and I was like, what is this? And absolutely changed... It changed my perception of what a movie could be. I think I had seen some sort of maybe a little more artsy movies, not your typical action or animated movie or classic like kind of rom-com or whatever. This was something that was so completely different, like almost a little dry, but had an edge to it at the same time.
Yeah.
And just had such an interesting story that you couldn't, like, the first time you watch it, you don't really understand what's going on, but then you figure it out, and then you go back. And the best part about it is you watch it again and you see something, and you watch it a third time and you see something else that's new and completely different, and you have a different perspective on it. And it was just the performances and the feel of it too, like being in California in the 90s in the summer, just had such a unique feel to it too, that, I mean, I could gush about this movie for hours. I absolutely love it. Another movie that I will put on anytime, anywhere, anybody asks me, I will talk about it till the sun comes up. It's my favorite movie.
Well, it's also great because you could just watch it in vignettes, right? Just in pieces, and
exactly,
it's incredible. One of the best films ever made.
Yep, totally agree. Tarantino.
Yeah, I'm glad he got a shout out here because he's not on my list, but an honorable mention on my list is a Tarantino movie. Do you know what it would be for me?
No, I don't know, actually.
Inglourious Bastards, which I saw with you.
Interesting. Yes, we did see that together. Inglourious Bastards. Okay. For some reason in my head, I was thinking Once Upon a Time.
No, that's my like least favorite Tarantino, other than like Grindhouse and I don't like Kill Bill either, which I don't want to get into a whole Tarantino thing, but I don't, and I know that's so Tarantino, but I don't love Kill Bill, and Grindhouse, I don't even know if I really consider it, but I love Inglourious. It didn't make my list, but I love Inglourious, so I just want to give it a shout out. I'll just give my other couple of honorable mentions, then I'll go through my stuff. Oh wait, we didn't hear your eighth.
Yeah, sorry. I was just thinking about that too.
Let me do my honorable mentions because I said I'll do it, and then we'll do your 8 proper. So just Interstellar, The Shining, Jaws, and A Bronx Tale.
Bronx Tale. So good.
I know I just threw out like 5 all over the place movies, but I want to just say them out loud because I love all of those movies, and they were all in my mind.
Jaws is a summer rewatch for me every year. I have to watch it, otherwise the summer's not complete. So I totally agree with you on that. Bronx Tale is so good. That one I watched later in life, but it was absolutely amazing.
So good.
Come Together. I mean, that's
yeah. Now you just can't leave.
Now you can't leave. I say that all the time.
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna put it in the honorable mention category, but it's a soft slot into my 8 spot.
Sure.
For as bad as the first experience that I had, The Odyssey.
I thought about it. It's just so fresh, but I thought about it.
That's why I'm hesitant, because I need the dust to settle a little bit, and I need to really feel if it has the staying power of like the rest of these movies. I think it will, but that's why I'm hesitant to include it.
Well, you can tell our listeners you're about to go see it again after we record this for a third time.
After we finish this up, I'm going to go see it for a third time.
I'm going to see it a third time too. I'm going to try to see it in 70 millimeter, but I considered putting it on my list, but it's just fresh. If we did this in like a year, I think it might be on it.
Yep, I agree. All right, so we got to get to the rest of your list.
Okay, yeah. So this is my list proper, not in a particular order. Easy one first. Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah, baby.
It has to be there. It was the first one that I thought of, and it might be my true favorite movie. But I watched it same as you. Like when I was a kid, my brother and I would just throw it on, and even now, like it still grows on me. Like even the first scene with the raptor. When I was a kid, I like almost didn't know what was going on. When they're like, "Shoot her!" We could quote it all day long. You didn't say the magic word.
Clever
Please. Girl. We could go forever. I love it.
With the cigarette, access
mainframe. So Jurassic Park is one of the best movies ever made. It might be truly my favorite movie. So had to name it first. Then I'll go Space Odyssey. I already talked about this, but I was blown away. You know, the monkeys in the beginning with the bone to the ship, that so much stuff is now spoofed from this film. The music and these like monumental moments. Kubrick just blew it out of the water and made it into what it was. That like whole genre of sci-fi, even things that like exist today were first thought of in the movie. Not things that obviously weren't, but unreal. and I could watch just the Hal segment over and over, Hal and Dave. So it's might be my other favorite or might be my favorite. I go again who I'm talking to, but love Space Odyssey.
It's yeah. We can't say anything else about
Yeah.
the movie. It's so good.
Now I'm going to stick with Kubrick.
Okay.
Eyes Wide Shut.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies for sure. Another movie I could watch in parts. Another movie that I throw on around Christmas time. It's like a soft Christmas movie. It takes place around Christmas time, but yeah, I'll like throw it on a night when like it's like 11 p.m. and I'll watch it. It's so good.
It is great. And another one that I was upset that I hadn't seen sooner in my lifetime, even though we watched it for the podcast episode that we did. It was, I think was it our first
pilot.
episode? Our
Yep.
pilot episode. Yeah. So yeah, I understand now. And I feel like I will randomly think about that movie.
Yeah, it sticks with you, man.
All the time. It just pops up and I'm just kind of like, maybe I should go back and watch that again.
Yeah. Love it. All right, now I'm going to mention a movie I already mentioned. Spider-Man 2.
The
best Spider-Man movie, one of the best comic book movies, one of the best action movies. I said before, had such an imprint on my life as like a teenager. I was like that kid who wanted to be Spider-Man, wanted to be Peter Parker. And I just fucking love this movie. Doc Ock. I remember I was like so excited as like a 13-year-old, like in the theater. I was like shaking. I was so excited. So when like the red web came out at the beginning, I love it. I love Spider-Man 2.
That movie is really great. And we talked about this. We talked about all the Spider-Man movies in those episodes that we did. But the more that this movie kept coming up, the more I was in my head like, oh, that movie actually is a lot better than I remember it being. I think we're also a little bit of the, recency
Nostalgia.
bias. Well, yeah, I'm saying with Brand New Day, there's a little bit of recency bias.
Yeah.
Like, for me, I thought that was one of the best ones ever. But the more I thought about 2, I'm like, oh, this is actually really good too. And I do need to go back and watch it because it's been a minute. But yeah, it's incredible. And Doc Ock, I mean, he was great in that movie. He was great when they brought him back in No Way Home.
Yeah. Iconic.
Yeah, very iconic. Absolutely.
Now sticking with superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
The Dark Knight.
This was a potential on my list too. Yeah. I was between this and Rises, but yeah.
This is beyond. Just called it a superhero movie, but this is beyond that. It's a crime action. The Heat comparisons that Nolan said it was, inspired by that, but it's such a fucking incredible movie. Even beyond Heath, the movie is unreal. I put this on the day before we saw the Odyssey just to get like a little Nolan fix, and I got through like over an hour, just like completely entranced. I love the Dark Knight.
It's one of those movies too where it's just nonstop. Like even if there's not action, like it still moves so quickly and so aggressively and just like you're flying through the entire movie.
Yeah, it's unreal.
But yeah, and I think everybody after that point, anyone playing a villain in a comic book movie, superhero movie in general that's playing the villain has to kind of almost say, how do I do something that's not anywhere close to that, because nobody's come close to that, but how do you kind of make that or take his version of the Joker and do something with it that can equate to that? Because it was just, I mean, best supporting actor in a movie.
Yeah. So
unbelievable.
Goodfellas.
Nice. Very nice.
And it's funny, we talk about recency bias. I was just watching this week, and I've always loved Goodfellas, Scorsese movies, but this one is like the end all be all. It's one of the best films ever made. I talk about not winning Best Picture. I think I absolutely love everything about Goodfellas from like start to finish. As soon as it comes on, I can't even shut it off. And like vignettes, I keep saying, you could watch it in pieces, and it's all amazing. And then last 2 here. Back to the Future.
Whoa, didn't see that one coming. Wow.
I I wrestled with this, and my honorable mentions were at one point in there. Shining was in there, and Back to the Future wasn't. But I love these movies, especially the first two. The third one, not as much, but I could put on Back to the Future at any point, and they're movies that I think about a lot. Really stuck with me. I like the time travel aspect. I love time travel movies, and this is the one. So I love Back to the Future. I was Marty McFly once for Halloween, yelling at people in the street, "What year is it?" So yeah, I absolutely love Back to the Future. Just a great feel good movie that Michael J. Fox is incredible in it.
And one of those two that the ending was, you were asking a lot of questions.
Yeah.
At the very end of that movie. Like, where were they going? Like, what are the implications of the decisions that they made throughout the movie, you know?
And I love that it rolls right into the next one too. I love that. That's pre end game, extra scene and all that. It was so good.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a great movie too. Great 80s movie.
Last one. Halloween.
Ooh, the original?
The original, 1978. Nice. Talk about movies that you don't have to watch seasonally. I could watch this at any point in the year. And I do watch it multiple times during the Halloween season. I'll watch it in the beginning of October, and then I'll also watch at the very end because I'm like, oh, I need to take it in twice, it. And I love most of the sequels. Guilty pleasure, I love Halloween 4 and 5, which are pretty awful. I love all the remakes. I've even come around to Halloween Ends, and I like that one too. The Michael Myers series just has me. He's always been my favorite horror villain between Jason and Freddy and all of them. I absolutely love Halloween. John Carpenter's original is just a masterpiece.
I think I've seen a few of them. I've definitely seen the first one, and then I saw, what was the one that we saw in theaters when it came out?
That was 2018. Yeah, that was the remake. Yeah, when we all went together.
Yeah.
And I was playing Halloween at my apartment while we were pre-gaming the movie.
Yep. And yeah, it's funny because I hadn't seen the original one before that. So I watched it right before it. And it felt exactly the way I expected it to feel. And it felt like a perfect Halloween movie and a perfect scary movie. And the remake was just as incredible. I enjoyed that so much more. And at the time, I wasn't a real big scary movie, especially in the theaters, but definitely not in general, a scary movie fan. And I loved that. And I had such a good time with that movie. And I think that was what kind of got me into, or opened my mindset up to watching scarier movies a little bit more than it was before. I used to just be like, absolutely not. I'm not taking the chance. And then I saw that and I was like, you know what? Maybe I can give these another try. So yeah, I would agree. I'm not as big a fan as you are, but I do enjoy the Halloween movies for sure.
So good. All right. So we did our kind of 3 categories in the beginning. We've done our top 8. And you've kind of learned at this point what our favorite movie is. I feel like in conversation at this point, you really named a number 1. It's Pulp Fiction. And I have come back to Jurassic Park and Space Odyssey 3 different times. So I'll probably just call it for those 2. A slight cheat. I can't really say which one has the edge. Maybe Jurassic Park at this moment. I'll call it Jurassic Park, but I've made it clear why I love Space Odyssey. But I like doing this episode because you kind of get a feel for who we are, what our interests are, and I like that we kind of threw out a bunch of other movies in this. And I could talk endlessly. We didn't even review comedies. If I had to say my favorite comedy, I would maybe say Superbad or Tropic Thunder.
Anchorman.
Yeah, right. Anchorman, right. So we could go so deep into animation, and we did a whole Toy Story episode, so you can hear that if you really want to hear some of our favorite animated movies. But this has been fun. I think that it's a nice way to kind of just look at who we are in terms of our favorites in film.
Absolutely. And this isn't something that it's we love these movies and these are the only movies that we love. This is an ongoing list of changing perceptions, and maybe there's some movies that have been out in the last couple of years that are going to add onto this list, like The Odyssey.
Right.
It's creeping onto my list right now. But yeah, I like going through this too and doing this as a way of talking through our interests and being able to talk about movies that we don't get to talk about regularly when we're doing one episode or one movie episodes. So this is nice to kind of really dive into our true pleasures and true passions.
Yeah. Seems like we're Blockbuster guys. All right. That is a wrap on our favorite movies. Coming up next week and the week after, we've got a little football season prep for you, a little preseason.
Yeah.
We're going to do Adam Sandler's The Waterboy, and we're going to do Friday Night Lights, which I've never seen before. So those will be 2 fun episodes for us. And then we're going to move in to a little horror for September. We're going to cover Weapons, a little revisit from last year, a film that you and I saw together, and I can't wait to talk about and revisit. I haven't watched it in full since it came out.
Yeah.
And that'll be previewing ahead of Resident Evil, which I'm super psyched about, to head over to Raccoon City. So we got a nice, busy September. And then Digger's going to come out, Social Reckoning. So we got a hot October after that. But remember, like, subscribe, comment. Let us know what your favorite movie is in the comments. And you always know the movie may be over, but the marathon always continues.
Peace.